But one thing I know, that whatever is in that container, whatever is in that product, I'm not ashamed of.
Right.
I know that I put everything into it. I know that there is nothing wrong with the product. It's a good, legit product that has full transparency, fully dosed ingredients, and only the best possible.
So we're here today with Robik, Apollon Nutrition. Been good friends for a really long time, but it's been a while since we were actually on video, catching up, kind of seeing what's going on with the brand, what's new. So tell us something exciting about Apollon Nutrition. What's going on?
Well, we just won Brand of the Year again. So that's a good
Year
thing.
3, right?
That's 3, yeah. 5 nominations, 3 wins. I know that 3 wins never been done before, but I think the 5 nominations in a row has never been done before either.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, like, how does that make you feel? Because we've been working together for, 4 or 5 years now.
Yep.
Coming from like humble beginnings to not even really having an interest in getting into the supplement space to where you guys are at now. What does that really mean? Because Stacked is such a well-respected media outlet in our industry, and people kind of look up to Stacked as, one of the non-biased, genuine platforms. So what does that mean to you to be basically a 3-time ranked champ?
You pretty much nailed it. Stacked most definitely is recognized as the, as number 1 platform when it comes to supplement industry. And I think that in our space right now, you have a lot of, I think the best way to say it, phonies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, and that comes also from your side of ingredients, where we just talked about before we even filmed it, that a lot of ingredients that are coming out are just, for the best part of it, probably would be shit.
Yes.
Because the thing is that anyone can just slam a trademark on it, put a little TM or an R, and you have a trademark. Unfortunately, it's not enforced. Hopefully it will be at one point. But you guys are coming out, and again, I'm not kissing ass or anything like that. You know me better than that. But you guys come with legit ingredients that are, proven to work. You backing it up always with, and I know you always sending me literature and, and all the supporting documents that actually testify to the potency of your ingredients, that they work, so we never have to worry about that. But in terms of, we talked about Stacked. Stacked is the same pretty much. It's a platform where it's unbiased.
Yes.
You know that when Shane gives you Brand of the Year, you are a Brand of the Year. That's why when I see today all these platforms, Brand of the Year or whatnot, unfortunately, I don't buy it. I don't care for it. And to me, that's not a statement. The statement is Stacked. And to know that we won it 3 times, of course, it's a huge accomplishment. And like you said, this was not planned. This was not something that we envisioned, at least not in early stages.
Right.
But right now it got to a point where okay, we can do this. Maybe we're not the biggest brand out there. Maybe we're not the most powerful financially brand. But when we use certain ingredient, I know that other brands are looking at us.
Yes.
And that's something you and I talked about it yesterday, that using an ingredient, we are honored to use NuLiv ingredients. There are a couple of companies that we really enjoy working with. But at the same time, I think that working right now with Apollon Nutrition, that's also a testament of, wow, they're using the ingredient, it must be good, because we already have that reputation that we don't use junk.
Yes.
We only use legit ingredients that actually proven to work. They have to be fully dosed at all time. And, even, again, our discussion yesterday off camera about astragin, we're the first ones, I believe, to use 100 milligram. And the only reason, and I'll being, honest as honest as I can be, when you told me about the 100 milligram and there was a private conversation, I didn't check it out. I didn't verify it. There was a trust issue. There is a friendship going on.
Yeah.
You told me it's 100, it's 100. The next thing, I called my manufacturer. I said, I don't want to use 50. I want to use 100.
Yeah.
Because Luis told me that it works, so it's good enough for me. I only read about it later on. I'm also, with my ADHD, I'm not very good at reading. I'm not very good at attention. So for me, your word, I value our relationship as a friend, obviously, because that comes first to me. And again, you basically believed in us from day one.
Yeah.
And that is something that I value tremendously. I know that what we are using in terms of volume is nowhere near of the multi-million-dollar companies out there. But I think the fact that we use your products is, again, and we use pretty much everything that you guys do.
Yeah.
And to me, that's an honor.
Yeah.
And I'm not just, sugarcoating anything or saying that it's something that is not true. If anything, people that do like me, that do not like me, they know for a fact. If I say it, it's a fact.
Right.
Everything that I say based on fact, based on proven achievements, accomplishments that the company has achieved. And, when it comes to Apollon, we have a certain standard. And I know you just visited NutraBio, and I don't mind giving them a plug. That's another company that I always stand by,
yes.
always recommend, always.
Said hi, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Mark is a great friend.
Yes.
And we wouldn't even be sitting here if I once again would not give him props, because he's the one who helps us get started. So I kind of took what he preached.
Yep.
I wouldn't say to the next level, because that would be disrespectful, but
right.
I live by the fact that full transparency and using only ingredients that work is the way to do it. Very often, not only in the supplement industry, but in any industry, people talk about the fact like, let's raise the bar.
Yes.
Let's make the supplement industry better, or any industry for that
right.
matter, but they don't.
It's very true, and I would say you're one of, if not one of one, when it comes to, when I tell you about new research, you really act on it. And there's a trust factor there. Obviously, we're good friends outside of this, and most people don't know that, but we have a really good relationship, and I've told you probably multiple times, even if you're asking us about some ingredients that we have, I'll tell you if I think another ingredient supplier has a better ingredient for that application, because you you embody the client that I want to work with. You really care about what your end consumer gets, and you want to get them the most benefit that they can get. And I think it's really fun to work with somebody like you and Apollon, because there's a lot of studies that we've done on some of our ingredients, like astragin, maybe at like 100 milligrams, senactiv at like a 200 milligram dosage, where 98% of our clients would never touch that, because cost-wise, using those ingredients at those dosages, the market's not there for that. It doesn't make any sense. But you see the benefit with the research there. Cost is secondary. Consumer experience is first. And it's cool and fun and exciting to always reach out to you and kind of tell you what we have going on, because I know if anybody's going to see the value in what we're trying to do back at the HQ, it would be you.
Well, the thing is that there are a few ways to do the proper marketing, right? I mean, we all in the business to be successful, to make money, to be able to pay, whether it's rent, our employees, and to grow and prosper. There is no secret. So anyone who says, oh, I'm doing it out of passion, well, I actually do it out of passion. I do enjoy what I'm doing. And my way of marketing is slightly different from everybody else's. Listen, I can do a little proprietary blend and use 10 milligrams of senactiv, or I don't know, 5 milligrams of astragin. I can do it. I can hide it in a prop blend. Sure. Nobody would know. I mean, people would know, but the end consumer, I can put 500 milligrams of caffeine in it. They're going to feel it, and right. They're like, wow, this is a good, pre-workout, for example. And of course, hire somebody like an influencer right. That's going to say this is the best shit on the market, and they're going to sell it, and you make money. That's one way of doing it. Right. There's another way of doing it, is doing it the honest way, where you actually put your marketing into your product. Yes, fully dosing ingredients and fully dosing products in general will cost more.
Yeah.
And then you're forced to charge a little bit more than your competition, because the product is costing you more. So obviously there are margins involved, there are bills to pay, etc., etc. But at the same time, this is my way of doing it. So one of the secrets that I don't know if I shared it before, instead of putting money into advertising, conventional advertising, we put the money into our products.
Yeah.
Our products are our advertising.
Yeah.
And when we reach certain consumer that actually cares about labels, that cares about formulas, and they actually do research, and they care about what they're putting in their bodies, that's our advertising.
Yes.
So if we release more products, and each and every product, and I think that I've said it during one of the podcasts, I think with Price Plow, where it doesn't matter whether you like me or not.
Right.
And that's cool. In any industry, there is somebody who likes you, who doesn't like you. That's okay. But one thing, and that's my rule of thumb, is you will not be able to pick on my products.
Yes.
What are you going to say? Too much caffeine. Okay, so we have something with less caffeine.
Right.
Or we have something with no caffeine at all. So there is a product for everyone. So at the end of the day, it's not a popularity contest. And I'm going to force you to say, I hate Rob, but fuck, he's using 100 milligram of senactiv. You know, what are you going to say? I'm underdosing. I'm not.
Right.
You know, taste? Okay, taste is subjective. So whether you like one flavor or you don't, that maybe you like something I don't.
Right.
Nobody's going to buy it based on, you know, your opinion on the flavor. So I think that our way of doing things is just an honest way. Yes, there is a markup. Yes, there are margins. Yes, there is, you know, money to be made. And, you know, we obviously want to grow. We just pick a little bit of a different route.
Right.
And, you know, it's a big market. You know, there is a saying, you tried the rest, now try the best.
Yes.
I think that fully applies. You know, that at the end of the day, at the end of the day, once you try something good, you're not going to settle for less.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. That's why once you know, try NuLiv ingredients, you don't settle for less.
That's why I love you. No, we were talking yesterday about some innovations that you've been brainstorming, some new ingredients that we had to offer that maybe we didn't hit the market with yet. Give us an idea on what Apollon's current customer base coming forward to.
So, you know, we started off with obviously Hooligan 50/50 Formula X. Those were our bread and butter in terms of products. Right now, as you can see, there's like so many of them. When people are asking me how many SKUs do you have, I honestly, and I mean it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many SKUs we have. I don't know how many products we have. But the name of the game is obviously expansion, because right now from performance we also do a health line that is very, very successful. We do coffee, we do creams. So it's obviously always about expanding more and more and more. It doesn't mean that, for example, the ingredients that you guys have, let's go with the most popular and known, astragin.
Yeah.
It's great because you can use it in a pre-workout, and it helps with absorption. But at the same time, it's a great health ingredient that helps with gut health. So we're using it in that. So now we using basically the same ingredient that we're using in performance, we actually moving it to a health line.
Right.
So what the customers can look forward to when it comes to Apollon is further expansion into both performance and health line, with obviously a few tricks and a few secrets that I shared with you that I know that you're going to keep.
Yes.
But the main thing is that innovation doesn't stop. You know, obviously in the, I don't know, go to 16th century or something like that, when people thought that maybe they invented something special. I mean, look where we are today.
Right.
And the innovation continues with iPhones and God knows what else, and computers and AI. Who would have thought 5-10 years ago that we would be where we are today? There is definitely innovation. It's just a lot of people going for safer route, where today you take certain products and they're pretty much the same, just the labels are different.
Right.
You know, and nobody wants to take a risk. Nobody wants to, maybe they don't want to take a risk, or they just don't want to invest in a product. They'd rather pay an influencer and get a product that's going to cost $3, pay an influencer, and then try to sell it for $30 or $40.
Right.
You know, there is a lot of review channels today that I absolutely despise. Why? Because they're getting paid to basically lie. And this is where the investment is, where they're getting paid like, okay, say this is the best tasting on the market. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Do we really discuss flavors right now?
Yeah.
Because that makes no sense. Do you know how beneficial that ingredient is? Do you know how harmful that ingredient is?
Right.
And don't you think something that you're taking either performance or you're taking for health reasons, aren't you obligated to yourself, to your health, to read the ingredient panel and to understand what you're putting in your body? How are supplements different from that?
Right.
It's basically exactly the same. So I know that when it comes to drugs, you have something that also flavored.
Yes.
But do you really think that somebody who has some kind of an illness, you think he cares about the flavor, or he cares what's inside the product and how he can benefit and how he can get healthy and better? Well, I care about, can this help my performance?
Yeah.
Or from a health perspective, you know, when people say, well, proprietary blenders are not that bad, it's a secret formula. No, it's not. Because when you take senactiv 10 milligram and you take senactiv 100 milligram, Guess what? There is a huge difference.
Yes.
There is a huge difference. So do you want something that on the label says senactiv, proprietary blend, 347 milligram, how much senactiv? Doesn't matter, but
Right.
it's there. No, it does matter.
It does matter.
It does matter. You should put the clinical dose or recommended dose by the manufacturer
Yes.
based on certain studies, and you will fully benefit from it because caffeine costs nothing.
Yes.
So 3, 4, 5, 7, 100,000, whatever milligram of caffeine, it will smack. You will
Yes.
feel it. You will feel energy or whatever. You will feel that ingredient. But will you feel the senactiv? I mean, that's the whole point.
Right.
But the reason why you paid so much, you paid for caffeine such a huge amount is because the caffeine came at no cost.
Right.
It cost peanuts. But senactiv, there's a difference between 10 milligram and 100 milligram. Pay for 100 milligram and give your consumer the benefits of senactiv,
Yes.
which are way more. You're probably not going to feel it as much as 500 milligram of caffeine.
Right.
But overall, your performance actually, if you're an athlete or you want to perform better in the gym, or you're somebody who actually cares about, getting better, evolving, then you should use that. That's my point, and that's the direction that we're going to continue to go. So will there be any changes to the philosophy of Apollon Nutrition? No. It's actually the same thing that we've done 10 years ago, just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we will continue. So if for example, next week, you're going to call me of all people and you're going to say, Rob, we have this new ingredient done. I'm using it.
Yes.
There's not going to be a conversation. You told me it's good. There is a relationship that's been built throughout the years. There is a friendship that's going on. I know you're not going to lie to me. So, I'll read it a little bit later.
Yes.
I will still read it, but I know that this comes from NuLiv, this comes from Louise. There is a trust factor, and there is something. The only thing I'm going to ask you, how much do I need to use?
Yes. Yes.
Because I will not going to order for you less than a clinical recommended dose that you guys actually checked it out, verified, and you're putting on the market a product that does work.
Yeah. And you know what? I will give you flowers in this regard because you're probably my only client I've ever had who didn't ask me for any type of discount. He didn't ask me for anything besides what's the clinical dosage, how would you use this, and this is why I wanted to come kind of catch up with Robik. You guys can kind of tell based on how he was talking about ingredients and how he views the industry that this guy really does care about the industry. And I love working with you. I pitched you an ingredient yesterday that I haven't gotten my team to really focus on and sell whatsoever. You found a use for it. You didn't ask me, and there was no objections about pricing. You're like, I'm going to use it. I trust you. Just tell me how much it costs and we'll
at
make
the
it
end of
happen.
the day, you know what? When I go, and this is just my perspective, when I go to the manufacturer with a formula, I don't go with a set price. Like, okay, I'm not willing to spend more than $12.
Yeah.
I've never done it. Why? Because I go with a formula. Okay, this formula, this is the one I want. If the price is absolutely impossible and we gonna be losing money, or it just doesn't work out, then I'll see how I can make certain changes. Not the expense of the formula.
Right.
Just maybe I can rework certain things. But if I don't make 100% profit, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Let me make less. That's fine. I just want to make sure that I can look in the mirror and be proud of myself, of my team, and I know that I'm not putting out a shitty, ingredient or shitty formula. That's way more important than money. Not even my reputation, my dignity, my self-esteem are way more important.
Yeah.
But one thing I know, that whatever is in that container, whatever is in that product, I'm not ashamed of.
Right.
I know that I put everything into it. I know that there is nothing wrong with the product. It's a good, legit product that has full transparency, fully dosed ingredients, and only the best possible. So that's the key. I don't want to be ashamed of what I've done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be ashamed of my, I don't want my daughter to be ashamed of. It sounds maybe a little bit poetic, maybe it sounds a little bit naive, but that's just the way I am. Am I proud of 3 times brand of the year? Fuck yeah. I'm proud of my team. Nobody on my team is from a supplement industry.
Yeah.
We are a bunch of weird immigrants with funny accents and, and misbehaving at time and saying politically incorrect shit. And, our products are also, speaking for themselves, and we're doing it our way. And I think that's the reason why it works. Because there is no like you asked me, there is no formula of success. And I think that the secret to continued success is just doing exactly the same thing. Releasing more products, doing the innovation, doing things our way, not copying anyone. And I've seen people on the market, in our space copying us.
Yeah.
And they cannot do what we do.
No
matter what.
It's not
Bigger companies, there is only one Apollon, that's the way it's gonna be. There is just one me, and I cannot be replicated. Even I tried. It just doesn't work. But in all honesty, to sum it up, I want to obviously thank you for your friendship, because that goes a long way, and I keep using NuLiv as an example. I tag you guys in our posts and stuff like that, and the reason is because unlike some other ingredient companies, you gave us a chance. You answer my text messages no matter what. You call me no matter what. You answer my emails no matter what. You always try to help me as much as possible. You answer all my questions. And to me, knowing how busy you are with travel, with running the brand, I know that your time is also valuable. But to me, that friendship, that partnership means a lot more than business. And in terms of busting your chops when it comes to pricing, you guys, just like us, you have to make a living.
Yeah.
You're running a business. So unless we order a shitload of product or, something doesn't work, I just don't think that it's just not my style. It's not something, I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. This is just me. That's just the way I am. And, time and again, you've proven that when you pitch an idea to me, it works.
Yeah.
So if the system is not broken, what's the point?
No, I love it. I love working with you. I love seeing the growth that you guys have experienced since the last time I was here. I'm really excited to see what you come out with, what we talked about yesterday. There's some really cool products coming out.
Yep.
Do yourself a favor, if you haven't tried any of the Apollon products, try some of these products. There's a reason he's 3-time champ at Stacked. It's really impressive what you've done, and I love everything you guys do. So
thank you.
I'm excited to come back in a couple of years and see where you're at then.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.